Good morning. We're up and out of camp. About 6:30. Trying to time it just right to where we get to the outfitter's place right when they open and see what kind of food options they got there. So I'm kind of in no rush for right now. And then I need to hurry up and get some food, get in and out of that place. And I've got like 21 and something miles to get to the road crossing where the hostel's at, and then it's like another half-mile road walk down to the hostel itself. So it's gonna be like 21 and a half trail miles, 22 like total miles I'll put on my feet today. So I'm gonna have to pick up the pace for most of the day. And there's definitely some long water carries in between. There's like a 10 or 12 mile section with no water. Otherwise, it is a very lovely morning. Intermittent rain showers in the afternoon, still in the forecast as usual. Let's hope the trail stays nice and even and rock-free. And here they are, just right off the trail, Brushy Mountain Outpost. Should be just freshly open, it looks like. I got the breakfast plate, comes with a coffee, and I got an extra orange juice. Well, that breakfast sure hit the spot. That went down perfectly. A nice full stomach, and in a second here we'll be crossing over I-77, I think, is the next interstate crossing. And then only like 2 miles from here is the shelter with a little bit of water source. Slow trickle, it says, and then it's like a 10-mile water carry to the next shelter, which also is has low flow. And I think those are the only 2 water sources for like the entire day. So I've got to get like 20 plus miles on just that. It's doable, it's just we're definitely hitting an area where water is short. Here's the split off for Helpies Mill shelter. And the last water for like 10 plus miles. And here's the shelter itself, Helpies Mill. I guess somebody's taking out the trash. I don't know why people would just be leaving it here. Alright, back on trail from the water resupply mission. That was long. It was a 0.3 just to get to the shelter, and another 0.3 just to get to the water, and another 0.3 to get back to the shelter, and another 0.3 to get back to the trail. I mean, I had to do it because you had to get water, but this is already a more than 20-mile day, and all these side trails are just putting extra miles and wear and tear on my feet. And I'm kind of in a race against the clock because I gotta get to the hostel before they stop serving dinner. Now they said they served dinner until like 9 o'clock, I think it was, so I'm not really in that big of a hurry, but I just want to get there because I want to get a shower and everything. And I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to do laundry. It's just gonna be a really quick get there, food, sleep, breakfast in the morning, and then get out of there. I'm not gonna zero there or anything because I'm trying to get to Petersburg. I don't even know if I'm going to zero in Petersburg. I think I might just push on through when I get there, because I'm narrowing into it. Anyway, I gotta start picking up the pace. The trail's kind of smooth right now, so I gotta start like hopping it quickly. Got a lot of miles to go still. So far, the trail's been pretty smooth. I'm just knocking out these miles at a good pace. Yeah, these are always a nice surprise. A big 600 this time. I just crossed State Route 611, and there's a water cache here, which is a very pleasant surprise. The next shelter is about 3 miles still, and it is, the last comment said it had very weak flow. So I think I'm going to load up here and potentially I don't have to take any water at the next shelter, but that would be the last water source is the next shelter until we get all the way to the hostel, which is still, I don't know, 10 miles from here or so. We'll reassess it when we take a break at the next shelter. Okay, this is the top of Brushy Mountain. That was a bit of a ascent when you're loaded down with water and it's hot outside. Now it's like a mile and a half till we get to the next shelter, and we'll take a good rest break there. Jenny Knob, I think it is. Oh, we made it. Split off for the Jenny Knob shelter. Break time. Okay, we're rested up in and out of the Jenny Knob shelter. Forgot to mention earlier, but I just wanted to say from shelter to shelter was like 10 miles. And we did it in 4 hours, and that includes 2 15-minute breaks, so that wasn't too bad. The terrain in between the two shelters was pretty good, so I was able to kind of keep up a good, quick pace. Hopefully, if that holds up, we should be able to make quick work of the remaining distance. It looked like 6.5 miles till we get to the road, and then it's going to be a half-mile road walk for a total of 7 miles remaining. My feet and everything are still doing good, so overall with the like the new insoles that I got, those are working good. Feet are, you know, there's mild soreness, but it's a lot better than what it used to be, especially since I've been like doing 20-mile days for the last couple of days in a row and stuff. Leaf hydrodynamic engineering is a real skill and needs to be mastered. It's very hot. I'm doing a lot of sweating today. I feel like I should be drinking twice as much, but water is just too scarce. I have to ration it. I'm in the last couple miles. The rocky ridgeline slowing me down. We're getting close to the bottom, but we're not out of the woods yet. Still got like, I don't know, half mile to go, and then another half-mile road walk. I think this is going over Kimberly Creek, I think is what this called. There's a bunch of notices that are like, don't take water from this because it's very contaminated with like raw sewage and farm runoff and all kinds of nastiness. Got a cool suspension bridge going over. Made it to the road. Now we just gotta wander down, find the hostel. This is the place, Where Your Feet Hostel. It's like a huge manor house. Just threw my stuff down. Here's what the room I'm in looks like. I've got this little bed over here. Looks like there might not be many people here right now. So there's 2 other little beds that are still open. There and there. I saw Bill outside. He was just finishing up his dinner, so his stuff is splayed out right here. I don't know if G is here. I'll have to ask him. I'm gonna get shower, and then it's dinner time. Well, I've got a belly full of spaghetti and cake and a whole bunch of sweet tea. Dinner was excellent. We got breakfast coming in the morning, and oh, this place is awesome. There's not many people here, so it's kind of quiet. But I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy my time in this old kind of converted manor house. And today was a long day. I think all told, including all the side trails and stuff we had to do to get water. I think I definitely hiked over 23 miles on my feet, but the trail mile distance I think was around 21 and a half or something like that. Tomorrow's going to be a light day. We're only doing like 15 something to the next in the next place. But yeah, if I didn't mention, I didn't know about the Woods Hole Hostel, and I only just realized today that it is along the route, so I'm going to change my plan. Instead of staying at a shelter, I'm going to stay at the Woods Hole Hostel for tomorrow night. That only changes the plan just a little bit overall. It makes tomorrow shorter, and the day we go into Pearisburg is going to be slightly longer, but it's still going to be close enough to be negligible. So it'll be cool. We get another hostel stay and check out a really cool place in the meantime. Anyway, I am going to sign off here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Good morning from the Weary Feet Hostel. Had a pretty good night last night, and this place is awesome. Highly recommended. Really good food. Speaking of food, breakfast is going to be served downstairs in a minute, so I'm going to head down and let's go get breakfast. And here's round one breakfast this morning. Alright, we're up and out of the Weary Feet. That place was awesome. The, let's see, the bunk stay that I was at, and you saw what the room and all that looked like, wasn't bad at all. We had breakfast and dinner, and that was totaled out to be just $45. So I think that was a pretty good deal. Tonight we'll be staying at the famous Woods Hole Hostel. And it's going to be a short 15-something mile day, so that'll be short relatively to what we've been doing. So that'll be kind of nice. I'm still not going to slow roll it. I'll try to get there at a normal pace, just so we can enjoy the hostel a little bit more. Maybe do laundry there even. So I'm due for some laundry, but got this half-mile road walk, and then we'll be back on the trail shortly. I'm just back in the woods. There's going to be a lot of stuff like this, I think, with freshly cut, cleared trees. It was a really bad ice storm in February, and this section of trail was closed closer to where there was like power lines. There's a big power line. Those really tall towers were taken out in the storm, and so they had to be replaced. So there's a huge section of trail that was closed for a long time, and a lot of blowdowns and stuff at that time. So all this has been cleared out. I think pretty much from here to Pearisburg, there was a lot of damage that had to be fixed. But we're good now. Everything's been cleared and repaired. It's just we're going to be seeing a lot of this on the side of the trail, I think. What else is kind of cool is back at the Weary Feet, there's only like 6 guests or so there last night. But one of the guys was a retired Air Force flight doc. And so it was kind of cool just chatting with him, and you know, you meet somebody with all the same stuff that, you know, I'm talking about flying on tankers, and he's like, oh yeah, and different flying communities and places in the Middle East that we've both been to and that kind of stuff. So that was really cool. Really cool dude. He had also just recently retired last summer, so he's been retired just about a year now and hiking the trail. It's cool chatting with him. He's, him and his wife, they're both out here, and they're going to be staying at the Woods Hole Hostel as well. So I'll see him again tonight. Again, a lot of military people out here. It's pretty cool. Here's a side trail for Dismal Falls, point 3. I think I'm gonna go check them out. Names could be deceiving, as we've learned from the hardcore Cascades. Oh yeah, this is a really cool area. Look at that swimming pool. Yeah, this was worth the side trip. Not dismal at all. It's cool to be alone out here too. Nice area. Deep enough where you could just jump right in, but I'm not going to test that out. It's been a very pleasant walk this evening. It's been a very lovely walk this morning. There's just a good number of bugs flying around my face, but they're not too bothersome. Here's the turnoff for the Wapiti Shelter, the most infamous shelter on the AT. We're going to take a break here. This is about the halfway point for today's stretch. A really nice little area that it's at. So, why is Wapiti Shelter so infamous? There was a gruesome incident associated with the Wapiti Shelter, shall we say. If you want more detailed information, you'll have to do a Google search for Appalachian Trail Wapiti Shelter. But there was a gruesome incident, and this may be been 40 years ago by now. But this is not the original shelter that it happened in. The original shelter was dismantled, and this was a slightly different location, but they kept the name. So the name association can scare people off from staying here. Plus, you've got two really awesome hostels just north and just south of here. The Woods Hole Hostel to the north, and then the Wary Feet to the south. So most people probably just hostel hop between those two and skip this one anyway. But some say it's cursed, some say it's haunted, some say it's all nonsense. You'll have to find out for yourself. This should be the only steep hill climb for the day. It's like 2.5 miles straight up out of the Wapiti Shelter. It's very steep, very rocky, very slow going. 100% humidity and 80 degrees. And there's no more water. It's all behind us. Okay, there's been some change of plans. Now that we're up on the ridge line a little bit, I got cell signal, so I went ahead and called Woods Hole Hostel to double check that they had availability and that I was coming in a couple hours. And they said they are totally full up. They cannot even accept more people tenting. So that kind of sucks. I will not be able to stay there. So we're just going to revert back to the backup plan. I'm going to continue another like 2 miles and get to the Doc's Knob shelter. And then we'll get into Perisburg tomorrow. So I went ahead and called the Angel's Rest Hostel, which is where I'm planning to stay in Perisburg. They still have availability, so I signed myself up for a bunk room there, so we're good. This part of the forest is kind of cool. All these ferns and stuff are like 5 feet tall. It's just nice and open. Kind of get this weird feeling that like a bear could be out there lurking and you'd never know it. Though they do make a lot of noise when they crash through areas. Got to that point where it's extremely technically rocky, and I am moving 1 mile an hour. This is the point where you twist your ankle with every step. Still extremely slow going. These last 3 miles are taking hours. Rocks are just rocky enough where you can't place your footing very well. You can't speed up. This is taking way too long. The rocks of Virginia. Nobody ever talks about the rocks of Virginia. There's another big black snake I almost stepped on. It's like a 4-foot plus snake. Just sitting there.
The map, I just go until she tells me to stop.
All the white marks.
Alright, we're all settled into Doc's Knob Shelter. There's a good number of people here. I ran into Walmart as I was coming in as well, but he packed up and moved on another like 3 miles down the trail. But I should see him again at the Angel's Rest Hostel in Harrisburg. I think a bunch of people are going to be staying there as well. If I get up early enough in the morning, I think it's only like 8 miles to Harrisburg, I might be able to get into town quick enough to get breakfast, depending. We'll see. That would be really nice though. Definitely sounds like there's kind of storms in the distance, and we may get rained on just a little bit. I don't think it's supposed to be too bad as far as weather tonight or anything, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. Tomorrow is the final push for Harrisburg. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.